Okay, everybody, we're back again with an anti-war rally coming from America's Third Party. We do this Saturdays 6 to 9 because we think that we need to keep the pressure up. We need to keep awareness spreading that war is bad. War is obsolete. You know, whenever we think of war, and when we got a president right now that thinks we can fire tomahawks in at Syria, no problem, no problems should occur, we don't realize that when you do something like that, you're adding to the potential risk of nuclear war. We keep pushing the envelope, and our country is the worst offender in pushing the envelope. And I want to remind all of you that this anti-war effort is about raising your awareness so that you can raise the people around you's awareness to the fact that the two-party system wants war. And the third party that we're forming here does not want war. We want a better economy for our country. We want to bring our troops home. This is one of our big messages here. And we also want to end the Federal Reserve, something that a lot of people in the Tea Party want to do. We want to do that too. We believe that there is a monetary backbone behind war, that if we continue to have wars, we will see the World Bank and the global authorities of the IMF profit, but we, the American people, will lose our loved ones, our nieces and nephews, our children will end up dying in war. And worse than that, innocent civilians around the world are dying because of this type of behavior our country is engaged in. Need I remind you that the Vietnam War ended in 58,000 troops dying. A lot of men could have been your father or grandfather. And that war was not pretty. 4 million Southeast Asians died in the Vietnam War, and our country never really answered for that. Not even Obama has made comments about the Vietnam War, yet we know that it was deceptively started by LBJ with the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which his Secretary of Defense, Robert McNamara, said was pretty much made up. So we did it again in Iraq with George W. Bush. You remember George W. Bush? People died fighting for democracy. That's the guy that started the Iraq and Afghanistan war. And now we got Bush over again. We got Obama. We got this same type of guy from a different political spectrum, on the left of the political spectrum, doing the bidding of the corporate world and the big World Bank, and starting another war, claiming the same thing that George W. Bush did, that WMDs are involved, that we've got to find the gas in Syria. Well, the gas in Syria is about 1,000 tons of sarin gas in Syria. It's in the middle of the civil war itself. So if the UN goes in and tries to stop this, the dissemination of gas, they're going to end up releasing it. I mean, they're going to be in the middle of crossfire in trying to get that gas contained and brought to a safer place. So the recipe for disaster is waiting for our country. And Barack Obama is engineering this particular war with Syria for failure. By giving into Vladimir Putin, by letting Vladimir Putin lead this debate, by bringing up the specter of the UN going in and getting the gas out, we're actually buying a little time, but in reality, we're setting up an even bigger flare-up opportunity that could lead to Obama firing Tomahawk missiles at Damascus. Bear in mind that we have a duty as Americans to stop more war. The people around the world are listening to us right now wondering, when are you people going to wake up? When are the American people and the American voters going to wake up to the fact that your country is being run by big corporations that profit from war? You see, it's really upon us now, the American voter, to stop the war. And the only way we're going to do it, because the two parties don't ask questions at all, the only way we're going to do it is to start a third party. That's going to make sure that those two parties are going to stand up and listen, finally, to the questions that the American people have had for years. Why did we start these wars? Why did we end up going down those roads? Even when Colin Powell admitted he'd lied because his information was incorrect about WMDs in Iraq, we still don't stop doing it. We still create false accusations. Now, this story that the Syrians started this, that Assad was behind the gassing in Damascus, it's still not corroborated. It has not been vetted. It hasn't even been completely studied. Russia did a 100-page report claiming that the rebels started the gas attacks. So without any solid information, our country's already framing a document very much like George W. Bush did with the Coalition of the Willing and the Iraq War. Our country's now framing a document that will get 34 other nations to agree that Assad caused the gas attack on August 29th, and that's why we need to get the gas reviewed by the UN. They're not even looking at the possibility that the rebel troops might be behind it. And need I remind you that the rebels are Al-Qaeda, that the very same people that are currently fighting for what Barack Obama calls freedom and democracy are actually terrorists. And our country has never had a more warped foreign policy since Barack Obama started that war in Libya, funding terrorists and pretty much undermining our national foreign policy strategy around the world. He's undermining our approach to other nations that have respect for us. He's actually making it very difficult for us to engage in a peacemaking process because he's the one who's starting a war. He's the one who's insisting that we fire on Syria. So bear in mind, we have to do this every weekend, and we continue these anti-war rallies to raise consciousness for a third party. You can catch us every night, 6 to 9, our weekly night show, Pacific time, and we talk and chat with everybody about politics. Please join us and tweet at Third Party. Thank you.